And some people have someone next to the property over there where something really strange happened. She won on Faustão's truck and they took her out of there. But I've already asked the television station to send me the list with the name of that person, the one who won in that
Faustão segment. At the time, for those who don't remember, Faustão had the Sunday show until
not long ago, and in the decade
from the 80s to the 90s, he did this segment that a truck would come to your house
with a bunch of stuff.
You'd win everything.
Furniture and everything.
So, when I officially asked the television station for that, they said they didn't have the list. Can you believe it? They don't know who won? There.
Of course, there's even more at Globo.
So, today there's a suspicion that what happened there might have been a way to shut people up. They created a situation and this woman switched sides right after. That family who was there was one that saw a lot of things about the creature on the property. Well, going back to the captures, there was that firefighter's capture, and at night, a police officer named Marco Xerese, who was an undercover agent with Interpol. The police intelligence, along with the Corporal Lopez, Eric Lopez, were aware of the whole situation and started patrolling Jardim Mandere to see if they could find anything that was left behind that hadn't been captured yet. At a certain moment on a street near that lot where the girls saw, they ran over one of those creatures. The creature crossed in front and Marco Xerese got out of the car. Eric Lopes hit the brakes. It was lying there. There was a construction site. There were building materials and everything because the neighborhood, Jardim Mandere, was under construction. Today, it's hard to find any empty lots there, right? Only the one where the Varginha creature was found. They've never built anything there. It's intact, but the rest is completely built up.
A protected heritage site has turned into a business.
So what did Marco Xerese do? He got out of the car, picked up the creature, put it on his shoulder, put it in the back seat, and told Eric Lopes, head to the emergency room at the regional hospital, and then they went into the emergency room where the doctor was on duty. This was already at night, around 8:30 or so. Then the doctor didn't want to see him. He said, man, we don't have the equipment here to handle this. It's not something out of this world, but still. Then he said, do this, take this thing, take it back, go in through the back, through the rear of the regional hospital. There's already a separate wing there. Because something like that had already shown up there. And then they went there, handed it over, took the creature out, and came back. But at some point, Marco Xerese got scratched by that creature. I don't know if it's because she was run over, since we know her knee was injured, right? And there's an orthopedist. Later on, I mentioned in the book that he also treated this creature. So she was probably in pain, something like that. And maybe she scratched him. I don't know if it was on purpose or because of the pain, or it just happened. And she tore Marco Xerese's shirt because he wasn't dressed as a police officer. He wasn't in uniform. He was undercover doing intelligence work there, right, as part of P2. When he got home after the rain, he was all wet. He even took off his shirt and threw it in the laundry basket. His sister says that the shirt was really torn, and then he had a scratch under his arm, and then a hair started to grow like an ingrown hair. A military man told me that a structure grew on the skin like a wart, but in a slightly different geometric shape. I managed to get that later.
And so I know this story, but I didn't know that detail.
So that was a military officer who gave me that information.
That's something new.
Right? So what happened, that injury after a while was treated by the police there in Minas Gerais, right? But they treated it as if it was just an ingrown hair. But then it didn't get better, it started to get worse. They admitted him to Bom Pastor Hospital and then he passed away. His test results took a long time to come out.
The doctor gives the interview, right? The medical examiner, right?
He says there's a medical examiner, but someone had a fever.
He says he lost all his immune system.
He lost his immunity.
It's like that. They say here in the documents, I got his documents, it says it was a bacteria here. This is Marco Xerese, right? At the time.
Yeah, I've seen this photo before.
He was 23 years old, man, just a kid, really young. This is Dr. Janine with the documents, right? This is Cesario, who treated him at Bompastor Hospital, and here I am at Janine's house talking with him. Here are the tests, and in this test, he says it was a bacteria. Staphylococcus ischiliferae bacteria, which is present. This bacteria is usually found in animals and is very rare in humans. Isn't that strange? Very strange.
My dog had this bacteria not long ago.
Only female dogs here. These are all the documents we got. Animals, it happens.
To humans too.
Marco Xerese got scratched, right? So it's believed, right, that maybe Marco Xerese died from contamination.
That scratch.
That scratch messed things up. It was the decisive factor there. I had a doubt at the time because information came from the Amarais cemetery in Campinas, right? Because a creature was taken there. And they told us that Marco Xerese's brain had been taken for study there in Campinas at the Amarais cemetery. There are some graves there, not vaults, that are used by the Brazilian army. So this thing had arrived there for study, but I wasn't sure. When I was at Dr. Janine's house, who is Marco Xerese's medical examiner, he confirmed this to me. I said, tell me something. At that time, his brain was removed and sent to Campinas. He said, yes, look, why would they do that? If the guy died normally there, not because of something else.
He didn't die naturally. You can't detect an infection.
An ingrown hair, so why would you take the guy's brain out? And another strange thing is that Marco Xerese, he got a kind of honorary role there. When you do a job and that job is crowned with success, it's a confidential job that you can't talk about. You receive an honor of merit there from the police, but the reason isn't mentioned. The reason? Imagine a 23-year-old guy, what did he do that was so relevant in Varginha, to be able to receive something like that? And he did. And right after he died and everything, something was voted on in the city council to name a street after him. So there's a street in Jardim Mandere with his name.
He became a war hero, right?
So, but it kind of went unnoticed, right? Because few people know about this street named after Marco Xerese. Who was the guy? What did he do that was so important to have even a street named after him? So there are certain things that you start to analyze, these details of the Varginha case, that show us that something really strange did happen.